Well, my name is Renee. I'll introduce myself first. I'm an everyday gal that just likes playing with makeup. I love the creativity, the fact that it's not permanent. You can use it to express emotion, which is super fun for me. Change it every day because my emotions change every day. And I just love working with this brand. I am a Motives Beauty advisor, and I've been working with the brand for probably 10 years now. It's the only cosmetics that have touched my face in the last decade. I'm in love. Nikki, what about you?
So yeah, my name is Nikki Holla, and I am also a beauty advisor. I have been a beauty advisor for probably 4 years, 5 years. And yes, I love the makeup. This is what I use on an everyday basis. This is what I use on my brides because I am a professional makeup artist and I do mostly bridal. So I do use all motives on my brides and I love everything about it. I'm also a licensed esthetician and I use the skincare as well. So with that, we both love this brand and love wearing it. And we're super excited to show you a few tips and tricks that we have.
Yeah, all about lashes, right? That's what we want to
Yes.
talk about this afternoon, all about lashes. And they say battle of the brushes, they make it like it's a competition. And we're going to see if the falsies versus the mascara no, we are very competitive. We're definitely going to be, collabing, helping each other out. It's probably not as hostile as a battle, but I'm so excited to learn from you, Nikki, because I feel like you're taking on the false lashes today. I'm going to be talking about the mascara.
Yes.
And I just do not have practice with false lashes at all. And that's probably why I'm not so great at doing it. So I'm like really excited to learn from you today. And
Oh, awesome.
probably one of the reasons that I don't get good practice with the falsies is because the mascara is just so good.
For sure. I agree with that totally. I love all the mascaras. On an everyday basis, I usually just wear mascara and I feel like my lashes are just flying away. But when I decide to go all glam and go out, then I do like to bust out some false lashes just to amp up that look just a little bit.
Yeah. And I feel like too, like with all the masks that we're wearing, right, that it does become all about the eyes and mascara, whether it's
Yeah.
falsies or a great mascara, emphasis to the eyes. I always think of like, why do we draw attraction? Because we want our eyes to look bigger. Why do we want them to look bigger? Like Disney princesses, like puppies,
Yes.
kittens, like we look younger and adorable. So
Yeah.
let's give it some lift.
That is such a good point though. Like we are wearing our masks now 24/7 outside of the house. So the only thing that people really get to see is from here up. So why not, emphasize your lashes? That's such a quick fix that you can do in the morning. You don't really have to do any other makeup if you don't want to, but getting on some mascara and getting on a good mascara or a great pair of false lashes that are comfortable just really just make you look awake, make you look alive, make you look fresh. And it's just a great thing, to make you feel good about yourself too.
Love that. Love that. Okay, so maybe I can start talking about a couple of the items that I'm going to be featuring today. And I think about lash health as well. So we're going to be talking about the Lash Extend, which is like a lash serum or a brow serum as well. And that's just, for healthy growth. We're going to be talking about growth and protection, a lash primer, how I use that, and my favorite mascara, which is the Motives Fiber Lush Mascara. I also brought a lash curler with me. So we'll see how that goes too.
I've got one as well.
Oh man. Okay, so I already applied the Lash Extend. So I'll say that is I'm not going to apply it now. I can show you what it looks like. I can speak a little to it about it, why I use it, when I use it. So we want to use this Lash Extend after or like during our skin routine or maybe after our skin routine. So since I already have my face on and eye makeup on, this would be too late to use for me. So I use it when I have my clean face, I'm finishing my skin routine, and it's just a little twist top with a wand and a little brush at the end. And so the product just collects right at the end of the brush. I do get a little bit off of it. And then you just kind of put it on like a liquid eyeliner. So it's just right at kind of the root of the lashes and only on the top lashes. And I just do like one swipe from like inside to outside. And I just like wait maybe 5 seconds and then I do the other one. I've been blessed with the brows. Some say I don't have to do too much with them, but folks use this, and it says it's a brow enhancer as well. So people do use it on their brows. I've even been using it on my brows since I got it, just because I'm curious, and if it's gonna have healthy give healthy strength to my lashes and to my brows, then why not pay it forward to that as well? But is this something you use, Nikki? Is that kind of how you use it as well?
Yes, that's the same way I use it as well. If I'm really looking to, get my lashes to grow and get conditioned quicker, I will also use it at night. And use it like twice a day rather than just once a day. Again, it's the same thing. I go through my skincare. Once my skincare is done, I just throw that onto my lash line before bed, and I just go to sleep with it on, and do it that way as well. So, and I love it. I mean, like I see a difference. Strengthens and conditions your lashes, and we're all looking for long lashes. So, why not add that to your routine? It's super quick.
And it's a part of the aging process too, that either our lashes thin out or fall out. It's same with brows as we get older as well. And just like I'm fighting gravity every single day, like I'm fighting like every aspect of aging. So I am prepping my lashes to push that date back further or prevent it altogether.
Yes.
Okay, so that is my lash extend process. Anything else to say about that, Nikki?
Nope. I love that they changed the applicator. Definitely having that wand is so great and so easy to use. It's kind of like a fail-safe method, like literally just taking that and throwing that onto your lash line. It's so much more convenient this way. And I'm so glad that they changed it.
Yes. Yeah. I love the applicator as well. Cool. All right. So I guess do you want to go into should I go first?
Yeah, you go first. Cause then once you kind of go through all the mascaras and stuff, then we'll bust into the falsies.
Okay. I'm excited. Okay. So I am actually pretty new to using a lash primer. And I am really excited that I started adding it into my routine. Sometimes it's like, how many processes do I need to actually put into my routine? But this one I'm like super stoked about. And I've absolutely, notice a difference right away. So it looks white and it's just a mascara wand, right? So twist off, great kind of full bristles, and it looks white, but it dries clear. So just to show you what that looks like on, I like that it's white so you can see like where you place it. But then it quickly, becomes translucent.
Yeah, I love the primer as well. I definitely notice a difference when I use a primer versus when I don't use one. It just makes such a difference then when you put the mascara on.
Yes. So when we think about a primer, most of my experience of the primer is like a face primer,
Right?
And it helps makeup like glide on smoothly, last all day. It helps it, we know how primer works with the face, right? Of making sure that we're using like less makeup, it evens out the surface area, and it helps it last all day. Like I said, foundation specifically, but if we think about the same concepts of a lash primer for our eyes, it's very similar. So it's going to kind of add some texture to your lashes so that the mascara can just like grab and hold on to it like all day, and gives you like instantly like thicker and fuller lashes as well. But I think the texture of it is so nice. Like sometimes it might feel that you're almost fighting with the mascara wand, like you're like to get it through your lashes. And then when you add the primer on, I feel like it just slides through.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I'm going to do that on one eye. And then talking about our Fiber Lush mascara, I know that we have 4 mascaras, 3 or 4. No, yeah, probably I think 4.
I think 4 too.
Yeah, the HD, the volumizing, the Lala.
Yeah.
one, and then we have a waterproof one. But the Fiber Lush is my go-to. This, I cannot talk about Fiber Lush mascara without saying va va voom. It's like impossible. I'm like, if you want va va voom lashes, then you gotta get yourself some
That's
Fiber
a good
Lush.
way. That's a good way to describe it. I should start using that as well when I'm telling people.
It's impossible for me to not say it. So yeah, there we go. We dropped the va va voom. So I'm able to talk about the mascara now. But it's great. I love the wand for it. The brush, like the bristle, the mascara wand portion isn't too like thick or big. I feel like it distributes the product throughout the bristles really nicely. And my mascara technique, I kind of just go from like root to tip, and I try and like rotate my wrist while I do it and maybe give a little shimmy shake.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Like separate. I don't know. I don't know if any of this does things. It's just what Renee's process is. So
Yeah, I guess like my process for putting mascara on, I do a lot more wiggling. I start at the base and I just wiggle my way all the way up.
ooh.
And that's usually how I do it. And I usually, do one eye, then go to the other eye. And then I'll actually go back and just do a second coat on each eye, but just give it a second to kind of dry down a little bit.
Yeah.
And I just, again, just wiggle it through all the way up.
I love that.
Yeah, I've got to say, like, I have used a couple of other fiber lash mascaras in the past, and I've got to say this is hands down my favorite. Number one, because none of the fibers will actually fall on your face, which I had experience with that in the past with some other fiber lash mascaras. And it's a one-step process. That also is very nice. You don't need to have like two different tubes doing two different things. It's all in one. And the fact that it doesn't flake all over your face, it's amazing.
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly. The fact that it's a two in one step process. I love that. I've heard of different fiber lash or fiber mascaras. I was really excited when we got one under our label. And as soon as we launched it, honestly, I haven't used other mascaras. I'm like,
oh
this
my
is
God.
it.
I agree. And anytime I get anybody onto this mascara, they're like, this is my favorite. This is now my favorite mascara.
I love it. So I just wanted to do like one versus the other. I know we're talking about lashes today. There's a lot of content on like the various Motive Social pages about lashes as well. You can see a lot of before and afters that are circulating, and it's just, it speaks for itself. I mean, you put it on and it's non-negotiable. I mean, just you can see the results right there. So
that looks amazing. I can totally see a difference. Like your one eye just looks so bright and open, and it looks great.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We have another showing in like 5 minutes. Stick around for Act 2. Should I go ahead and do the second one, or do you want to hop in and talk a little bit about falsies?
Sure. Yeah, why not? I can talk about some falsies. So, our label Motives Cosmetics has a lash pack right now consisting of 5 pair of lashes, and they're having a great deal for, I believe it's $25 for 5 lashes, and also lash glue, and you get 5 of these as well. Right now I have 3 of them because I've already used the other 2 pairs. And what I really love about these lashes is that they're very they're not so over the top. They're great to wear as an everyday lash. They're also great to wear at night because they have an array where, I would say maybe this one's a little bit more I'd probably wear at night versus the 113s, which I would probably wear for during the day. And these are probably my favorite, actually, just because I love wispy lashes. But what is also really great about these lashes is that they have a very thin band, which makes it a lot easier to apply them onto your lashes. And especially for beginners who are not that great at putting on lashes, having a pair of lashes with a thinner lash band will make your life so much easier. So That's what I love. I'm going to be rocking the 113s because, like I said, these are my favorites. And I don't know why I have not used them. I used the other two. I must have been saving these for like a special occasion or something.
For this occasion, Nicki,
Right,
this very
right.
special occasion.
So that way my kids can take a look at me afterwards, all glammed up with nowhere to go. But
That's it. It's like, hey, get ready with me to go nowhere.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Do you want me to like go ahead and start applying these, or did you want to finish doing your other? Or I mean, I don't care either way.
I think it's okay to kind of hopscotch back
Okay.
and forth. So
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I'd love to hear from you.
So a couple of things that I like to do when wearing lashes. It makes it a little bit easier if you're already wearing like an eyeliner. I right now my go-to is no eyeliner and just doing, like a nice buffed out eye and then putting lashes on. But as a beginner, that might not be the best idea just because you may not always get the false lashes completely flush to your lash line. So having that eyeliner on kind of helps in case you make a couple of mistakes, trying to get it close to the lash line as possible. So I'd always say start off with wearing a liner just to make things a little bit easier for you. Now, when you look at the lashes and you pull them out and you hold them up to yourself, you'll know that this is for your left eye. This one's for your right eye. For this pair, you can see that like they're shorter on the inside and longer, and not all pairs are going to be like that. So just like as a rule of thumb, you can pull them out and know and figure out which one is for which eye.
That's such a good little hack. Thank you for sharing that. Because if they don't have, larger or longer at the end, I'm like, oh no.
So what I like to do is I usually like pick them up by the end here. And sometimes I'll use my fingers. Sometimes I'll just grab a tweezer and gently kind of pull them off from the glue that's keeping them attached to the little plastic tray that they're in. And I will just go ahead and kind of grab that. Because they have the thinner band, you have to just be a little bit more delicate when you're working with them and trying to get them off, because sometimes that glue can be a little sticky that's on the tray to hold them down. So I got this pair off now. And what I'm going to do is before I do anything, I want to make sure that the length of this fits my eye. For some people, it won't be a problem, but I tend to notice that when I put false lashes on, I do need to trim the ends of them. Otherwise, they end up falling too far low, and what you end up getting is droopy looking eyes versus what we're looking for, which is uplifted, eyes. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
What side do you trim from? Like, do you trim from the inner corner or do you trim the outer corner? I trim
from the outer corner. I always trim from the outer corner just because the inner corner, like I said, it's not always that it's always shorter, but the inner corner has that shorter little piece in there, and you don't really want to lose that because it really kind of blends in then with those smaller lashes right on the inner corner. So always want to trim from the outside. So now what I like to do is I will grab them with tweezers because I think tweezers is the easiest rather than using like your fingers. And what I like to do is just first set them on my eye from like the center, just to kind of get like an idea of how long or how short they are. Oh, these actually might fit me. Oh, these fit me. Okay.
That's why they're your favorite.
Right. Okay. So now if they were longer, and I can tell that they fit me because they don't fall off the edge of my eye, and they feel very comfortable, even just like this. So I know that I don't need to trim them. But if you have a pair that are too long, you're usually going to cut them from the little clusters. And I can kind of like, as you're looking at them, you can kind of be like, oh, hey, I need to cut 2 clusters worth to get them to my size. So that's kind of how I do it as far as trimming them goes. So I'm lucky today. I don't have to do any trimming. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on. One of the tips that I have, and I'm not going to do this trick for this time, but you can, take your lash glue and create like a line on your lash line, and then also put some glue on the lash, and then that will kind of help to be like a magnet to get them to sit as nice as you want them to. I'm going to do the old-fashioned way, and I'm just going to get the glue onto this lash, and we will then let it sit for I would give it like 30 seconds or so, just so it can get tacky enough and it's not just flipping around everywhere.
Yeah, I always remember hearing, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
I always remember, that's like a buzzword for me. Like when it gets tacky, I hear that all the time about applying false lashes. How do you know when it's tacky? Do you physically touch it to like test the tacky?
I do not. I just kind of like, I will put some lash glue on. I kind of just like wave it around a little bit. I don't really like have a timer set or anything, but I just try to give it a little bit of time. I just don't go straight from glue straight to my eyeball. I have done it in the past and it just makes it a little bit more like the glue can kind of then slip off everywhere else. Like once it gets tacky, it's less likely to be like on top of your lid and, like less likely to make a mess. So, fingers crossed that I can do this.
We have a quick question too, Nicki.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody asked, do you curl them and add mascara prior to applying your lashes?
So I do have mascara on because the way I like to try to get as much use out of these as I can. So I can get about 5 to 6 uses on these lashes if I treat them right. So that means not putting on mascara afterwards. You totally can. But for me, I rather just do the mascara beforehand and I'm going to actually curl them afterwards because then I can get them to meld together better. Okay. But so yeah, hopefully this can dry down already. But okay, what I like to do is I'm aiming for that the middle to the middle of my eye. That's how I start off. And I'm just going to go in. You kind of want to look downwards too. So I do have this little mirror that I have on my desk and you're going to go in and just like lay it on there, but push that center so that it sticks there. Okay. Once that sticks, then you're going to go in, grab the corners and then pull and set down at the same time. And again, I'm going to take the other end and I'm going to pull so that it's flush with the lash line and then stick it down.
I'm like watching so intently. I'm mesmerized.
Yeah. Okay. I can't believe I did that with such ease. No, sometimes like I can spend like 15 minutes trying to get a pair of lashes on. Like it's not always this quick. So once I kind of like, I'm going to give it, a little bit just to kind of like set. But once I let it set, then what I'm going to do is also just taking my tweezers is just kind of like clasping them together so I can get the lashes and my real lashes to kind of go flush with each other so that you can't tell that I've got lashes on. So, because you don't want your lashes to have a gap between your real lashes,
Right.
And I think I've achieved that. And that it's also nice. That's why you wear like black eyeliner because it kind of helps to hide that as well.
Yes.
It's not that great.
Yes.
So, so now this is where some people, if you're trying to go for a little bit more of a dramatic look and you don't really care about the lash itself, you can go ahead, put mascara on and get them to be even more, give it some more emphasis if you'd like.
Do you find that you add mascara?
I usually don't, just because, like I said, I like to wear these 5 or 6 times. Maybe on like the last time, couple of times, then maybe I'll throw some mascara on them because I do like the way that looks. And it also helps to blend the lashes together. But when I'm trying to kind of preserve the lashes, then I don't. I try to keep them as clean as possible.
I think it's amazing that you can reuse them, up to 5 or 6 times, like you said. Like, I don't know if I would have thought that right off the bat.
Right. And the thing is that like, once you're done wearing them, keep the tray and, the little container that it comes in and, just gently grab the corner and gently pull them off and then just put them back in your tray until next time. That's another thing, like using less glue is always key than using a lot of glue because you're just going to get like clumping of the glue. Number one, you might get your bottom lashes to get stuck to your top ones because you've got too much glue happening. And also then when you remove your lashes, you don't have a lot of excess glue gunk to deal with because you can just go ahead and put them up, reuse them. So anyways, okay. Sorry. I feel like I didn't think I had that much to say about lashes, but now I'm like,
give it the attention it needs, girl. I'm here for it. I'm learning so much.
Oh my God. I can't stop talking. So now what I'd like to do is this is when I like to use the lash curler. It is a little bit harder when you do have falsies on. But what's great is that when you end up curling them, you lift the false lashes as well, and it just kind of opens your eyes up a little bit more and makes the false lashes even look a little bit bigger. So that's like my other tip into getting your lashes, because sometimes they kind of like, people are like, oh, I can see them, or oh, they're like, you know, once you curl them, it lifts them kind of out of the way and just makes your eyes look bigger too. So I'm just gonna kind of like throw my thing there, and I'm just gonna squeeze down a couple times. You might get a problem where like they kind of stick to the curler, but just be very gentle when you like are removing the curler away from your lashes. Do not go like, don't just try to, you know, because then you're gonna rip those lashes right off, because the glue is still there. The glue is mostly dry, but sometimes you know, it could still be a little tacky and it might get stuck to your curler. But yeah, just doing that little step right there too just like lifts it and makes it look so much better.
And then another question that just came in too is if you are keeping them, so when you take them off, do you do any sort of like cleaning or maintenance before putting them back in the case?
Okay, no. If they have a ton of excess glue, then I will. And it's a tedious process of like using your tweezers and like trying to keep the lash band nice and curved still. It can get a little dicey, especially with these thinner bands. So if I'm only using them 5 or 6 times, I just take them off, put them in, and then reuse them again with that glue that was there from last time. I don't really mess with it because I don't want to ruin the lashes.
And like
Now,
you said, you don't, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
You, like you said, you don't have to use a lot of glue. And I think that that's a common misconception of like more glue means it's going to last longer.
Right.
And that's not necessarily
exactly.
true.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, I say that you can use these 5 or 6 times. They're technically probably meant only for one-time use, but I'm just trying to give you like pointers on how you can reuse these. Yes, they're not like mink lashes. They're not like, you know, a $50 pair of lashes that you can wear up to 25 times, but you can still wear these, you know, 5, maybe even 10 times if you just take good care of the lash themselves.
Especially if it's for an event, you know, I mean, you're only at the event for a handful of hours. So, I mean, I love a bang for my buck. Like I'm a bang for your buck type of gal. If I can get multiple uses or have multiple, uses for one product or something, like I'm all about it.
I swear. Yeah. It hurts me when I like only wear them once and I have to throw them out and I'm like, oh God, why? So yeah, so I love these, but you can, and look at like the difference in,
like they look full, there's volume. Yes. It's very noticeable to see it through your camera. 100%.
Right. And I gotta say, like, if you are having like a night out, the lashes, I swear, are what's gonna make your final look.
100%.
I cannot go like, I mean, all my brides, even brides that are like, no, I don't really want lashes. I'm like, oh no, you're doing lashes, because it just completes the look and it makes you look, it just looks amazing.
Yeah. And these lashes are great because I've done modeling and I've had shoots in the day where they, you know, hire makeup artists. They've had to use their lashes or whatever on me. And I feel heavy. I feel like I have to like lift up my eyelid to open my eye. Like it feels heavy. And when I wear the false lashes like that you're wearing or any of the set that we have, I never have that problem. Like I feel like I can't see them in my peripherals and you know, they're not like waving in the wind, you know, they're efficient, they're light, and that's exactly what I'm looking for.
Oh, I totally agree with you on that. Like, especially, you know, like I'm not a bride. I'm not like red carpet. So like having these lashes for going out or even wear it, like there are people that like to wear them every day, just, you know, just to have nice full lashes. And these are great for that because yes, they're so comfortable. Like this lash, I barely feel it, you know, and I could wear this all day and be completely fine and not have any issues with it. And so I got to say, like the band that they have, like the thinner the band, the more comfortable they're going to be on your eyes.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. I love it. I just realized too that I forgot to curl my lashes. So I think one of the hacks for that, I'm going to do my other eye now too, is that you also kind of look down a little bit while you're doing the curling. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, let me get my hair out of the way. Don't want to clamp that bad boy.
Yeah.
And you said you just give it like a couple of squeezes?
Yeah, a couple of squeezes. Sometimes I'll even like when you have them in there, I kind of like pull my hands a little bit outwards so that it gives a little bit of, you know, it helps to kind of bend them a little bit more upwards. Yeah, like that.
I'm learning so much. Okay. So
is there another question? Sorry, I saw something pop up, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, one just popped in. Good eye. Says, do you trim the ends for people that wear glasses so that they don't rub on their lenses, or do you have a hack for that?
So I have done that in the past where I do trim them, but what ends up happening is that they kind of lose then the style. They end up kind of becoming a little blunt. There are differences between all 5 of these motive lashes. So some are a little bit shorter than others. So when I'm picking a lash for somebody, I'm going to, if they wear glasses, I'm going to go for the shorter pair. These 113s are shorter than like the 110s. So in that case, you know, like I'm going to go just with the shorter lash without actually trimming the ends of the lashes. Cause I just feel like you end up losing that beautiful, fluffy style that, you know, that was created, you know? So the only thing I trim are the actual and the length of it, the length of the band, not the length of the lash. The lash.
Right. As I was applying this primer, I was just thinking about how it does such a nice job of like pre-separating the lashes as well. Yeah. If you ever struggle or battle with clumpy lashes or anything like that, it just does it's a primer. It's doing exactly its job. It's priming the lashes to like accept the mascara.
Right.
I'm so happy I've been using it.
Oh, I know. And I mean, it sounds like, like you have to do 2 steps, like, but no, it goes by fast because the primer dries down pretty quickly.
Right. Yeah. And like we said, it goes on white, dries clear.
Yep.
And I mean, it's very quick. I'm doing it much slower now just because I'm enjoying the conversation.
Right. I am loving these lashes on right now.
They are looking phenomenal.
I can't stop staring at myself. This is what happens every time I put on like a pair of false lashes. I just like stare at myself in the mirror.
You should. Yes. So just doing a little wiggle as I'm applying my Fiber Lush on my other eye.
I have any other tips or anything for mascara?
Man, that mascara just grabs.
Oh, did I lose you?
I hear you, Nikki, if you can hear me, but it does sound like.
Oh, okay, I'm back.
Yay.
Okay. I don't know what just happened there.
Just a little lag in the system, but we made it through the other end.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. And you said there's some different methods. I see a question in the Facebook chat about applying the glue. And so I know that there's some different methods. I think for this one specifically, you said you put it on the clear strip of the lash. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. So I put it on the actual band of the lash, and then I wait about 30 seconds or so before I actually apply it on. The other method that I was talking about is you can squeeze some of that glue like onto like an angled brush. And if you want to try the double lash glue method and, go in as if you're putting eyeliner on, but like close to your lash line and get it in there. Mm-hmm. And then also line the lash band with glue and then I'll set it on there. It will tend to just kind of like stick on kind of like a magnet and make it a little bit easier for those that might be struggling a little bit trying to get lashes on.
That is very helpful. I think the only thing I can say about the mascara is I do have to check before I leave the house because it makes my lashes so dang long that if I don't let it dry or something, I might have a speckle like right up next to my eyebrow.
Yeah.
So I have to remember, I'm like, okay, Renee, like relax your face for like a hot second, and don't be so rushed in the rest of your like just let it sit for a sec.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh man, but it's not even a problem because it's just the mascara.
Right. It just makes your lashes so dang long.
Yeah. And then I had another thought that popped into my head about setting spray and like where I would do that in the process. So I think pretty much mascara is one of my final steps, like mascara and lipstick. So usually when I do my whole face, everything else besides those two steps is when I would go in with my setting spray. And then I would do my mascara after that. Do you do something similar, or what's your process with that?
Yeah, so I do that as well. Just because there are, chances of it for me, I will end up getting a couple of dabs of mascara kind of on my underneath my eye.
Because you're like re-moistening it, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what I'll also do is I do my eyes first before I do foundation. So if I get my eyes done and it's been like a good 15 or 20 minutes since I did my mascara, then I'll just go ahead and like spray my whole face at the end. So it just kind of depends on like where I am in the process of with my mascara.
Yeah.
But I definitely agree, like putting on mascara and then spraying your face, not the best idea, because then yes, you will have
like not back to back like that. Either let it sit, spray a little bit later, or spray your face and then apply your mascara.
Right, because otherwise, then you might end up having problems. So, I mean, nothing that you can't fix, but why even have that be an issue?
That's another favorite thing just about makeup in general, is that like you can fix everything. I feel like sometimes people get really intimidated, or like, colors are really pigmented and they put it on, they're like, wow. And it's like, you can just buff that away. Or like sometimes I put mascara on and that wand hits my face and I'm like, oh no, I got a big black glob on my face. Like no crying over spilled milk, right? Just take a Q-tip or what, like just, you can fix it all. Fixable.
I agree. And I always like to say, like, there's no set rules when it comes to makeup. Like, yes, I have my way of doing things, but it's not the right or the wrong way. I just give you, like we're doing here, we're just giving other options of ways to do it. So my way is not, the end all be all by any means. It's just a tip or trick that maybe might help you. But that's another thing I like about makeup, is that there is no rules. Like, you don't need to follow any rules. Like, and I know a lot of people are like, well, if you wear heavy eyes, then you need to do light, lips. And I'm like, no, if you like heavy, go heavy. Like, if you like light, go. I mean, there's no set rules in my opinion.
I am 100% the same way. Yes, there's trends. Yes, there's fads. Like, yes, you can, but the whole thing is just like, do whatever makes you feel good. Do what feels good. If like whatever color that is, whatever style that is, like, sometimes different situations call for different things. And maybe you're the type of person who wants to fall into that, and maybe you're not. And both of those are the right answer. It's just whatever you're comfortable with and whatever you want to do.
Right. Exactly. I'm going to pull out this other lash, because
going to be mesmerized again. Here we go.
Right. Like, my left eye is lonely. So I'm going to get some lash glue on this one. And again, like, some people use their fingers. I personally think it's a little bit easier having a tweezer, so that your fingers are not so close to your eyes and you can kind of see exactly where you're placing them. That's just my way of putting them on. And again,
and is that like a lash tweezer? Because I know they have like lash tweezers, or is that like just a regular set of
this
plucking,
one is just
tweezers?
A regular one. I know what you're talking about. I think I have one here. Oh my god, it's so dirty, but I'm just gonna quickly like showcase it. What you mean? Like, these are the lash tweezers. Oh my god, something exploded in my makeup bag, so it's just a disaster. But yeah, I do have those too, and I don't mind using them. It took me a second to get used to them, but they're really great for coming in and like, pushing your lashes with the falsies together.
Makes sense.
So yeah, so I've got my lash glue on again, and there's I forgot a tip to mention also. Like, if you get a pair of lashes that they're kind of like straight and they're not really curved, you can kind of grab both ends and just kind of like give it a nice little
Mm,
movement here so that they get a little bit more curved for you. So
like
they're
a
not
baseball cap.
right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Cause you know, our eyes are curved obviously. So we don't want the lash to kind of go on and then just like be sitting straight out and you're having a hard struggling to try to get it to bend, you know, towards your eye. So that's another little thing that you can do too while the glue is on there. So you know, you can busy yourself with that. But again, I'm going in from the top and looking downwards and I'm going to hit that middle and make sure it's on there like that.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to grab the edges and throw that down and then grab the inner corner and again pull before you set it down. So that way you're just going to tug it a little bit so that way it's all flush and there's nothing that's sitting around. I'm just going to give it a second too before I go back and like, you know, clamp it back down. But another thing I want to say is like if you're trying to like lift your eyes up a little bit more, then at the end what you can do is instead of going straight down onto your lash line, you can kind of go above and onto your actual lid. And it works best with eyeliner obviously, but you can then instead of placing it down, you can place it a little bit higher up so then you can kind of get like that sort of effect going on with the lashes as well. So for those that are kind of struggling with, you know, droopier eyes, that's a great way to kind of get them to lift up too.
Love
And
that.
then, so now I'm just going to go back in, kind of make sure that everything, and this part you can even do with your fingers. I don't mind just kind of going in and I'll just like kind of go in, push them together, make sure they're together. And then you can see again, like you can't really see where my lashes and the lash band are.
Not at all. It's seamless. Absolutely
So,
seamless.
oh my God, I'm so glad I was able to do that on camera.
I was worried too. I'm like, oh, plus we all make that mascara face, you know it.
Right,
I have to make my mascara face live on Facebook. Oh no.
So yeah, this is it. And this looks so good.
Indeed. Well, I love it. So we talked about some great options for all levels, for all moods, for all emotions, whatever you
Yeah.
feel in that day. If you want to do the mascara, if you want to take it the step further and get that the va-va-voom with the fiber lush or the total va-va-voom with the falsies. I learned a lot. I think this is super helpful for me. I do want to say to anybody on Facebook or catching the replay of this anywhere, like please leave your questions, comments, tell us what you learned, other, tips you picked up or anything like that. Leave your questions because it is monitored and we'll pop in even if you didn't catch it live to make sure you have answers to that. But yeah, this was so great, Nicki. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. It was so fun to interact and, have some fun playing with lashes and mascara.
Now I can go have a fancy lunch by myself.
Right.
Going
exactly.
nowhere.
Exactly.
I love it. I think that's all that I have. Nicki, is there anything else you want to chat about before we log off?
Nope, that is it. Thanks everyone for joining in and spending the last like 30, 40 minutes with us. We totally appreciate it. And like Renee said, like if you guys have any tips or tricks that we didn't mention or don't know about, let us know in the comments and let us know like what you thought of this little broadcast.
Yes, 100%. Definitely do that. All right. I think that's good.
All right,
Nicki, thank you so much. We'll see you everybody.